Good evening, beautiful people. You are welcome to our program, Fine Relationship. This is your weekly family tonic. It is a food for your relationship, to strengthen your relationship and to keep your relationship healthy. Today we are looking at episode 57, Building a Strong Marriage. With me this evening is a fine relationship coach who happens to be my husband. Sir, can you greet the viewers?
Wow, viewers, you're welcome once again to this beautiful time of fine relationship, and we give God the glory for every one of you. If you're just joining us today, you can go straight to our YouTube channel, Life Mending World Mission, and then just click on the subscribe button and also the bell that so that each time we're online and also when we upload new videos, it will come straight to you. Apart from that, we have up to 56 episodes already, you can see, and it's a whole lot of information that can help you to build your marriage in every facet. But today, you're welcome to this particular episode.
Thank you so much. Like the topic, we said building a strong marriage, or you can decide to say building a strong relationship. A strong relationship is not a gift, it's not something you just get into. Building a strong relationship, you will need to make investment. You don't just achieve that, you make investment. And when we talk about building a strong relationship, we are not talking about an individual being strong. When you talk of building a strong relationship, it takes two people. A person cannot build a strong relationship. It takes the two to work together to build a strong relationship. And that a partner is strong does not make that relationship a strong relationship. I was driving with someone and he said to me, he said, "Oh, I'm happy that my brother got married to the lady she got married to, because the lady is a strong woman. I know that as they are together now, they are going to build a strong home." But actually that an individual looks strong or have some strong characters does not mean that they can build a strong relationship together if they don't decide to work as a team. For you to build a strong marriage relationship, you need to work as a team. It is not a soul something. It's something that you need to work together in order to build a strong relationship.
Awesome. I think you really got me there when you said that building a strong marriage is not necessarily having two partners who are strong by themselves. It's more than that. It's not just a strong marriage. It's not just people who are individually strong. That's the key thing that you really need to underscore. Even as the woman of God is talking, you really need to understand that to have a strong marriage relationship, it is a husband and wife who decides to be strong for each other, especially when one of them or when each of them feels weak. That's really when you see the strength of your marriage. When one party, one spouse is weak, the other one stands in strongly for the other. That's exactly what strong relationship or strong marriage is all about. It is also choosing to love when you don't even like to love. It's all about your choice. And I believe also that strong marriage begins from the choice. It begins from the choice of getting married, right? That's where it begins. In other words, you can, your marriage can become weak from the day you made your decision to marry. You're married. The decision itself to marry or the choice of who to marry may have weakened that particular marriage, especially when you see people that said, people begin to make selfish decisions when they say that, I want to marry him because he makes me feel good, or he have everything I want. The qualities I want is in him. When people make such comments, it automatically tells you that they are not getting into a symbiotic relationship. Marriage is a symbiotic relationship. Marriage is not a parasitic relationship. It's not a relationship that you get into only to take. It's a relationship you're getting into to give and at the same time to take. So a situation wherein you hear somebody said, I love that guy. I want to marry him because he makes me happy. He has every single thing I want. It's not all about every single thing that you want or you need. It has also to do with what you have to give, what you got to offer. And from that particular place, if the decision to get married with this your spouse is all about, you've looked at this your spouse, you know what you can take from your spouse, and also you understand what you can give to your spouse, then that decision is a decision to build a strong relationship. So all that we are saying here today is that strong relationship is team playing. It's team playing. It's not going solo. You can be strong by yourself. Does not necessarily mean that you can build a strong relationship, especially when you love going solo. Your strength becomes a hindrance to the strength of your relationship because it is all about you being strong by yourself. But a situation whereby two different people who are in relationship are made up their mind and understand the dynamics of team playing. They put their strengths together. They work as a team. That is where you build strong relationship. So strong relationship in this platform today talks about building strong bond of relationship that can strengthen the individual spouse. It is not individual spouse being strong on themselves or by themselves, and at the end of the day, they don't play as a team. It looks as football, some of the football teams, they are star-studded, but they lose games because each star is playing according to their own stardom. They are not playing as team. They are not playing as a team, but each and every one of them are showing for their skills, showing for their strength, but the strength of the relationship is weakened. So that's exactly, to my understanding, what strong relationship or what strong marriage is all about. But then now, how do we achieve it?
Yeah, I think also I want us to look at it this way. Also, I think it's one of the reasons why we have divorce in relationships.
Okay.
You understand? Because when you get into a relationship, like you're saying that, this guy got everything I need. So for that reason, I want to get into that relationship.
That's true.
But you're not asking yourself, do you have what the guy is looking for?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes when you say what you want from the guy and you don't have what the guy is looking for, then along the line, the guy will look for that thing he needs that you don't have. They will decide to look for it outside.
In another person, yeah.
Since we all know that as human, somehow, let me use the word, that we need each other.
That's true.
You have your areas of weakness and you have your areas of strength. So if your area of strength the man is the man's area of weakness, and you don't have what the man is looking for, the man will definitely look for what he is looking for elsewhere. And that is where breakage or divorce
Steps in.
So we need to watch it as you're making your decision. If you've not made your decision yet, don't just look for a man who have what you are looking for. Look for a man also who lack what you have.
Absolutely, you're talking to those who have not made decisions.
Yeah.
Then what about those of them who are already inside of it and they have already made their decision? You know, we teach on this platform that you can't talk about having the right. You can't talk about having the right partner when you're already married. No, if you're married, learn to love what you've got. Okay, but if you've not married, okay, it's beautiful. You can talk about how to get the right partner. But right now, if you're married, you have the best partner you can think of. All you need to do is to learn to love what you got. But if you're not really married, it is time for you to really sit down and look at the kind of decisions that you make before ever you say, I do. So those of you that are already married right now, how do you build strong marriage relationship? Don't forget that strong marriage makes strong families, and strong families is the basis of a successful nation. So what we're doing here today has a lot of ripple effect in building the nation. So you need to understand and listen clearly right now, how do we build strong marriage? And woman of God, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I would like to go first. I would like to go first so that you can support me.
Okay, you should.
I think the first thing is to know yourself.
To know yourself.
For you to build a strong relationship, you need to know yourself. Last week, it was one of the points also, knowing yourself, knowing who you are. You need to know yourself, and you need to do this deliberately. You need to learn and study yourself. It has to be a deliberate thing. You need to know what you like, what you dislike. You need to know your fears. You need to know your weaknesses. You need to know your passion. You need to know your limitations. You need to know your weaknesses.
Your values.
You need to know your values. You need to know your strengths. For you to build a strong relationship, because what you have to offer is yourself first. The first thing you have to offer in building a strong relationship is yourself. So if you don't know who you are, you will not know how to assist in that relationship. If you don't know your area of weakness, you will not know the area where you need to depend on your spouse for strength.
That's true.
If you don't know your area of your strong area, you will not also know the area to affect your spouse or to help your spouse.
So what you're saying here is that the purpose of knowing yourself is for you to know what to offer.
Your
input in the relationship. So you really need to minister your strength, okay? You need to know yourself, your values, and your fears, your passions, your limitations, and your abilities. So in the area of weakness, you got to depend on your spouse. Okay, that's what you have to take from your spouse. But then the area of your strength you have to give. But then it also comes with the second arm of it. If you know yourself, you really need to know your spouse. Okay, two of them are two critical knowledge that you need. You know your spouse, you know yourself, and you know your spouse. And why we are saying that this is critical from day one, is that it helps you to make the matchmaking. It helps you in matchmaking in the sense that if the area of your strength becomes the area of your spouse's weakness, then your spouse have every reason to depend on you in order to withdraw strength from you. But if the area of his weakness becomes the area of your strength, then you have something to offer. Then you begin to see that you are complementary to one another. Why? Because the area of your strength is his areas of weakness, and the areas of your weakness is also his area of strength. So you are complementary, or you are really supplying to each other what another lacks, and that becomes a strong marriage. So what we have seen here today is that the keys in building a strong marriage is that you got to know yourself. Spend time, know yourself, your values, your fears, your passion. You really need to know yourself intentionally. You were not born with the knowledge of yourself. You didn't just grow up. There are people who are already grown, but they don't know themselves. So you need to understand that it's an intentional. It is something that you have to be deliberate about, analyzing yourself, discovering yourself, being able to understand your limitations and your abilities, your breaking points and your limits in every area of your life. If you've done that for yourself, do also that to your spouse. And how do you know your spouse? How really do you know your spouse? Somebody have said that the reason why so many people don't know their spouse is because they start falling in love. They start falling in love, and you say, I love that guy. Oh my God, I love everything about him.
You leave the necessary things.
You leave the necessary thing that you need to. You know, it's all about chemicals. See, you really need to sit back, listen to the life story of that guy and the life story of that lady. Don't tell me you are the first love in first sight. I saw him and I was swept by my feet. No, you don't. You need to stand, listen to the person's life story, the ugly, the good, the bad, everything about. Listen to that story, the life story, where if he was into rape, find out why he was into that. If he murdered somebody, find out why he murdered somebody. Be calm and listen, because it is from the life history, life stories of people that you are able to have an understanding of who the person is. Not only that, you need to have also the list of dislikes and the likes of the person. What are the things that is the favorite of the person? What does he like? What does he love? What is it that gives him the highest pleasure? And at the same time, what are his fears? You really need to have all these things for you to be able to analyze and say, this is who your spouse is. Don't tell me you love him, but then you don't know his weaknesses. You don't know his limitation. Everybody got their own breaking point. You need to understand that. If you've never come to that breaking point, it's because enough pressure have not been applied unto you. By the time enough pressure is applied unto you, you're bound to commit. So it is important that you have a list of all these things about your spouse and you are able to flow with your spouse.
So what I was saying this evening, what we're saying is that the story of your spouse, the life of your spouse, or the character of your spouse is hidden in his story. Don't sweep it under the chair. Don't overlook it. You know,
That's
sometimes
true.
they say, no, it's just like that just because we are not together yet.
When we are together, things will
it's going to
change.
change. No. Whatever you see from the day one, from the story of your spouse, look at it critically and make the decision either to remain or to leave. If this person refuses to change,
and you don't have what it takes.
And I don't have what it takes to change this person.
That's true.
Should I still remain or should I leave?
That's true.
If you find out a habit in that man or that woman that you know is not something you can handle, I counsel that you don't get into it. Don't tell yourself it's going to change tomorrow. Tell yourself, this guy is not going to change, and I'm ready to live with him or to live with her the way she is. The next step is forgiveness. Forgiveness attitude.
That's awesome. Forgiveness attitude is your understanding of the imperfections in relationship. When it comes to forgiveness attitude, you understand the fact that you are not perfect. He is not perfect. The relationship is not made in heaven. Okay, you've come to that place. And forgiveness attitude does not mean that you are validating the wrong actions of the person that you have decided to forgive in. No, you've decided to forgive the person, but at the same time, you are not validating the wrong action. And it is very critical, it is very important that you become a forgiving person, because it helps you let go the negative chemicals of bitterness that if you carry it, it has to endanger your life. It gets to twist the normal psychological or physiological makeup of your person. You need to be a person that forgives easily, even when the actions are wrong. You know, I had an outburst of somebody when I told the person, forgive your mother. It was a very bitter experience, because the bottle of bitterness have not allowed this lady to forgive the mother. Let me tell you something. If you don't learn to forgive, actually you're going to have arthritis, you're going to be under stress, your beauty will be gone, because it is the dynamics that goes on in your heart that determines how beautiful, no matter your makeup. If you don't have a forgiving attitude, you're going to dry up even when nothing is drying you up. It is just the self-unforgiveness and your inability to let go the things that have happened in that relationship. So it is important that you understand that you're not perfect, your spouse is not perfect, but you decided to let go all his idiosyncrasies, his Ellen and his failings. You've decided to let it go, not because it is right, not because it is correct, but it is just because you want to be that person that maintains your relationship. You find a strategy not to break your relationship, but to also go along with the person. Forgiveness attitude.
Yeah, I think I want to also say the last one, being naked to each other in your relationship.
With your spouse.
With your spouse. Being honest, being open to each other. But that will happen when you've grown to the point where you can swallow, you can take in what your spouse wants to open up to you. You'll find out that this is not actually working in most relationships, because the guy is afraid of opening up to the lady, or the lady is afraid of opening up to the guy, because he has weighed the guy or weighed the lady and find out that if I open up to this man or I open up to this lady will die before her time. Or if I open up to my spouse, is going to break my head before I finish talking. So they make up their minds to lock it up and go everywhere with it. But it is better for you to prepare yourself and make yourself someone that can someone that can open up to take the things your spouse want to open up to you. And for those of us also who have something to say, or who have something we are covering, you need to be honest about it. You need to be honest about yourself. There is no need of covering or hiding those things. Like I always say to us, that there is no secret anywhere. If it is something that has been committed, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time it's going to explode. So you need to build yourself up to a point where your spouse will have confidence to open up to you. You need to build yourself up to the point where your spouse is not afraid to open up to you. You say sometimes when your spouse opens up to you, you make it a topic whenever there is a problem between the two of you.
That's true.
If there is any issue, you bring it up. Anytime there is problem, say, oh, but that's how you did this that day, and that's how you did that. And sometimes some of us are not even careful. We open up even in the midst of people. When your spouse made a mistake and confessed to you or open up to you, in the midst of people, maybe he makes a mistake or something, at that point, you begin to announce it to the whole crowd, but that's how you did this, that's how you slept with this, that's how you slept with that. So your spouse makes up his or her mind to hide it and to close it up.
That's true.
Which is not good for your relationship.
That's
which is
true.
not good for a strong relationship. So you need to make up your mind as couples to say, it doesn't matter what my spouse have done. Like I always say, when we got married newly, I always say to the people around me, those who know me very well, I will tell them, if as a lady you go after my husband, if I know I'm going to dust my husband up and go home with my husband, we can do the fight at home, but I will never leave my husband to you. So it doesn't matter what he has done, he will have the confidence to come to me to say, baby, this is what I did, or my wife, this is what I did. There was a day we were driving and he said to me, he said, oh, there was a lady that was passing, then he said to me, said, I love the hairstyle of this lady. This lady, I love the way she looks. For some women, that day you're going to kill that man.
Somebody will carry bandage on their head.
You're just waiting for them to get home and you finish up. But what did I do? I looked at the lady. I asked myself, what is that this lady is putting or is having on that is making my husband to be attracted to this man? And when I got home, I have to really adjust and at least build myself up to that standard. You understand? Instead of killing him or destroying him.
That's true. Getting a strong relationship, a strong marriage is something that you really need to build. It's something you really need to build. Getting naked is a very difficult thing, but it is something that you need to create.
Possible.
You need to create the atmosphere. That's all that Mama is talking today. You need to create the atmosphere. You want her to open up to you. You want him to open up to you. But can you still stand when the person strips themselves naked before you? Can you manage the nakedness when it comes onto you? That's exactly. But strong marriages is a place where the spouse gets naked. The depth of your communication and openness, the level of your sincerity is an indication of how strong your relationship is. That's how much we can take today. And we need to recap a little bit so that you understand what we've dealt today. We've looked at strong marriages, that strong marriages are team playing marriage. It's not a marriage where individual spouse goes on their individual strength. It is a place whereby both of you have to come together. But it's not an event. It's not something you wish into existence. It's something that you get to work and build it. You got to know yourself, know your spouse, have a forgiving attitude, and get naked with one another. And you know the price of nakedness is that your ability to handle what you see when somebody takes off his clothes before you, and don't make it a thing of weapon of warfare. Mama, can you stand up? Let's go.
Don't run away when I undress. Just see what you want to see and help me clean up.
That's true. That's exactly how far we can go today. Getting naked is not easy, but you need to make up your mind to manage it. Getting naked is the indicator, a very heavyweight indicator when it comes to strong marriages. You share your errors and you're able to correct one another, and don't remember it when there is a next issue that is going on. Okay, we'll see you next time. Thank you, Dame G, and for these wonderful episodes and investments and the editing and the coverage and the packaging of this program. We love all of you in Dame G Studios, and also every one of you Enlightenment World Mission, and we give God the glory that this have come unto you today. Please send us messages. Get down to YouTube and watch at the same time other episodes. Till we see you next week. It is our passion to see your marriage succeed, because we understand that a successful marriage is the secret of a healthy nation. We see you next time. God bless you.